Hey, hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? So happy to be here.
Good. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on with us. I'm really excited because we just been trying to do some good, some healing work, some soul work, some really transparent conversations. And I've been watching you and really just observing your journey for years. And I'm just really excited to see what you have to some knowledge you can drop on us. But it's important that. I'm drawn to truly genuine people, and when I met you years ago in New Era, you were
Yeah,
one of the really honestly one of the sweetest and just really like kind and like you don't know people, and sometimes it can be awkward like meeting new people, but I feel like you were always very warm and kind. And then following your journey with your music, just loved it. And just always thought like, man, Shay's so sweet. I really love and admired you from a distance.
thank you.
And you know how social media is, make the world so small because you ain't seen people in person in years.
That's
But
right.
watching their journey on social media has been just something that I really enjoy watching. And people's genuine and true authentic
Yeah,
stuff really shines through. And so I just really appreciate your journey and your transparency, even
thank
your
you.
lives, the people that you've had on, like and um sometimes you don't expect something to impact you the way it does. And I just
Yeah,
and watching your journey. So I'm just really glad to have you on. So excited because, it's a lot out there that's really not authentic, but I really appreciate just your journey and how truthful and honest you've been. Because
yeah,
and we'll get into this a little bit more, but like just in the Black community, I think it's so important that we've reached this milestone, that people be honest, people be transparent. Because
yeah.
guess what? If I don't be honest, it's somebody out there waiting to glean from my journey. And if I don't be honest, I don't be transparent, I might leave something on the table that might, lead to their healing. So
That's right.
the title of this episode is Happy After Healing. And like I said, I've been watching you, and
Yeah.
I just think you have some jewels, and we'll get into the conversation. So thank you so much for agreeing to join us. And
Thank you for those kind words
you're
also.
welcome. You're welcome. So can you share your story? Share a little bit, as much as you want to share, and just kind of get guide us through, some of the key points and some of the key things and pivotal moments that you've had, over the last couple of years.
Yeah. I guess I can start with the awareness that I got when I started the journey as I look back.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I got married young at 19. It was normal around the church. They had a marriage ministry, so it wasn't like it was unusual. Everybody was getting married young, all our
Right.
friends. So, basically, we had our ups and downs, and you tried to, work through it. We did overcome some obstacles, but it came to a place in the marriage where I felt like it was nothing I could do to get us
I feel you.
in unity.
Yeah.
So it's like we became roommates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what I learned was that I didn't know who I was outside of being a wife, and I didn't know who I was outside of being an artist because he did my music.
Okay. Okay.
So when the marriage got to a point to where we were now roommates, wasn't no music getting done.
Mm,
So it was kind of like, who am I now? You
yeah.
know. And once it got to that breaking point, to where I felt hopeless in there, instead of handling it in a healthy way, rejection would show you.
Come on.
It will show you who you are. It will show you wounds that need to be healed. It will show you how much you value yourself by how you respond to it. And
Absolutely.
the way I responded to it was very unhealthy and toxic. Toxic. I decided, I was gonna curse myself. I wasn't gonna spend no more time with God because you didn't fix this.
Right.
You didn't fix my career. You didn't fix the marriage.
Yeah.
So, F it.
Mm-hmm.
And I rebelled, and I intentionally became a alcoholic. I
Wow.
drowned my sorrows in alcohol
Mm.
on purpose because I was like, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm worthless now. My life means nothing. I ain't got nothing going for me. So I stuck in there and just rebelled and started drinking and cheating,
Mm-hmm.
partying, turning up. I ain't care no more.
Come
I
on.
didn't care who saw me. If you saw me out there, oh well, because Shea Atkins dead anyway. This
Wow.
is my new life.
Yeah.
So hey, it was all about the turn up and cutting up and developing unhealthy attack, but just numbing. It was a
Mhm.
numbing,
Oh yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was very bitter and angry. So I finally was able to walk away from the marriage after about 6 years of
Wow.
just acting a fool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of leaving and healing, I left into the arms of somebody else,
Got you.
developing another unhealthy attachment, codependency.
Come
He
on.
rescued me. He rescued me from
Yes.
here.
Yes.
My knight in shining armor. That's what I thought. So
Mm-hmm.
about a year and a half into that didn't work out.
Mm.
So I'm like, Lord have mercy. I'm back to
What
square
am,
zero.
what am I gonna do?
I'm back to being um ghosted,
Yeah.
rejected again, because there was a pattern. I was so needy and desperate
Yeah.
that I ended up getting ghosted. That's how deep my wounds were. So I started drowning my sorrows a little bit. And then I said, you know what, Lord, because I was in so much pain stacked up from the marriage to this relationship and just all those wounds. I say, Lord, if you would just heal me for real,
Come on.
if you would heal me without depending on some man,
Mm-hmm.
and if
Mm-hmm.
you would heal me from depending on this alcohol,
Yeah.
just show me how to love me in a healthy way. I'll show others. And so
Mm.
that's when I began the healing journey,
I love that.
the self-love journey.
I
And
love
it was the process of learning me. And it took
Mm-hmm.
about a year for me to just do what I would learn before I could write about it and tell somebody else because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And people would say, love yourself, love yourself. And I used to get so frustrated on the inside because it sounds so simple, but I did. If you were never taught how to love you, if
Mm-mm.
you were never taught how to set boundaries, if you were never taught how to, put you first
Come on.
and make sure you okay first, then you're not gonna know what to do.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. I love that. And so many of the things you said resonate with me because I went through a similar journey. And I remember at the end, because I was previously married before too. And I remember at the end, it was just, I felt so lost.
yeah,
I felt very devalued. And because of the way that my marriage ended, my ex was tangled up in some stuff. And I really felt like as a woman, I was like, am I even enough as a woman? Because
yeah,
some of the stuff he was doing, I just, there was no competition. There was
yeah,
no
right, right, right.
explaining it. And so I really can identify with just feeling so lost and like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, am I even worthy? Am I
Yeah,
so I really identify with that, and the fact of you saying, just love yourself, love yourself. Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
heard that too, like, oh, you just gotta love yourself. And
yeah, yeah,
it's such a foreign concept if you
yeah,
don't have, if you don't have, like, I do love myself, like I love
yeah,
myself. And I went through that same thing of just, like rebelling and just gotten, and see with me, I was like, my little situation was real undercover. I was like moving real quiet, real underground.
yeah,
People be like, man, we ain't heard from you. Like, what's going on? It's like, oh,
yeah,
I'm just chilling. But
yeah,
I was into all kind of stuff underneath the, to the
yeah,
side and on the down low.
yeah,
But I'm just grateful for, I remember the moment that I kind of had my breakthrough, and ironically I was at church, and thankfully I've been with my dad's ministry, and so the people that are there kind of have known me for years. And
yeah.
we was in the middle of praise and worship had finished, and I just laid out on the floor. Like, I just, like,
Wow.
I can't do it no more. I just
Yeah.
cried. My godmother came up there, and she kind of just put me in her lap. Like, I'm grown, fully grown. She put me in her lap and just was rubbing my back. And I remember at that
Oh,
moment, I kind of just said too, I was like, God, if you just help me get through this, because, something that I found was an interesting dynamic is, when we don't have a point of reference for something, it's
yeah,
tough to kind of get out of that rut. And so for me,
yeah,
all I seen is people, my family being married 30, 40, 50, and so when I was at the end, my stuff was over, and I was just like, man, I don't know anybody that's divorced. I felt like a failure. I felt like,
yeah,
I got this baby. I don't know anybody who's a single mother, So I
Yeah.
was in, total like no man's land. And it just took me a while to kind of just like pick myself up and start to put the pieces together. And
Yeah.
I know for me, the process, like you said, took you about a year. The process was just so long, day by day. And I
Yeah.
remember my mentor telling me, she said, you know what, you all down in 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road. She said, just get through today. She
Yeah.
said,
Yeah. Yeah.
to noon, get yourself to noon, get yourself to dinner, get
Yeah.
yourself to the next morning and stop taking such big chunks. But, I remember I was taking it hour by hour, like,
Yeah.
just, help me make it through this hour, make it to
Yeah.
till I get off work, make it to dinner. And
Yeah.
I began to see the pieces come back together and really did the work as far as going to therapy and just
Yeah.
addressing some stuff that wasn't even related to the marriage that in my childhood or things that I've seen. And
Yeah.
it was like you had to do all of that work and dig into that process because
Yeah.
if you don't, you leave stones unturned, some of that stuff can come back up to haunt you.
Yeah.
So um, I
Yeah.
really identify with just, some of those points that you made. But so what do you think you've learned about the process of being broken and depressed and kind of, coming full circle to a place where you're like healed or, in the process
Yeah.
of being healed? What do you think about that?
Yeah. I always say I'm in recovery. I'm in codependent recovery, just like a, crackhead or alcoholic, which I
Absolutely.
was, but I could also be addicted to people.
Mm,
I developed unhealthy attachments because of those wounds of
yeah.
unworthiness and those abandonment issues.
Mm,
So I just learned how to know that I matter.
yeah.
And yeah, I think that's very important. The way you see yourself really does determine how your life will go, who
Hmm.
you allow into your energy. And I
Yeah.
learned that I'm enough.
Mm,
I'm enough.
yeah. I
That's
love
what I
it.
learned.
I think
Yeah.
um, that's a phrase that is that
Cliche.
if you could see me, I got the chill bumps because it's thrown around.
Yeah.
But when you really get there, like, man, I'm enough just how I am. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where my stepping stone for the organization, Valuable and Vibrant, and kind of what I thought about was like, you know what? I'm valuable just because God created me.
Yeah.
I'm valuable just because I'm a child of God, not because of who I'm married to, not because
Yeah.
of my parents, the side of town I was born on, what job I
Yeah.
any of that. And especially in the culture, people
Yeah.
find value in things and people they're connected to,
Yeah.
all of that. And so, because of the way that the culture kind of says, oh, if you married, you did, oh, if you have a kid, you this, or if all of these criteria. But I had to get to the place that like, nope, strip.
Yeah.
I'm 30, I'm divorced, I'm a single mother, all of these things that are seemingly like
Yeah.
negative
Yeah.
marks. It was like, nope, I'm still valuable. And I
Yeah.
had
That's
to
right.
speak that over myself for so long and just continue um to get that in my spirit. But because culture, especially now,
Yeah.
cancel, they did this, cancel, this happened,
Yeah.
cancel. And I had to really get to a place of like you said, I'm enough just because I'm standing right here.
Yeah.
even,
Once you
even when
grasp
I
that,
was a mess, I'm
it's
a still.
powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful once you grasp that because you're no longer afraid
Mm,
to let somebody go.
yes.
It's hard to let go when you feel like your identity is in them. But if
Mm-hmm.
it don't serve you, you have no problem letting it go.
That's so good. That is.
Codependency latches on out of fear. But what
Mm.
they say, love, even though it hurts, love knows how to let go.
So,
Loving
for
you.
those who don't know, tell us what is codependency actually?
Codependency is an unhealthy attachment to a person or a thing.
Yeah.
That's codependency.
Mm,
Unhealthy attachment. Then you have to look and say, okay, why do I have this unhealthy attachment? It's because without them, I don't feel like I matter. I don't feel like
mm,
anything. I don't know who I am without them. Your identity is in saying, I'm with them, or
yes.
I work here, or I do this. It's unhealthy attachment. That's
Yeah.
not good for you, and but you have a hard time letting it go.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's what codependency is. And I when I was doing my healing or whatever, I learned about. I'm sure you heard about dopamine and oxytocin, which are two chemicals that are released
Isn't that
when you're on
crazy?
when you're on drugs. Those chemicals are released into your bloodstream and
Mhm.
so the same thing can happen with this person. The way they look, the way they talk to you, the way they make you feel, that
Yeah.
chemical release, and you get addicted to that. And
Yes.
so if something was to ever happen where you have to separate, you do literally go into withdrawals
And
and you
that's
feel an emptiness.
a lot of times people stay longer than they should because I mean,
Yeah,
it's literally a physical high going through your body.
yeah,
And it's so hard to make that disconnect from that
yeah,
unhealthy. I love that you said that. So I
yeah,
know for me, with my situation, it was interesting because I found, and I don't blame anybody. I think everybody's doing the best they can with what they
yeah.
have, but
That's
there
right.
was a lot of I feel like I was suffering in silence. Like I mean, like you said, before the marriage truly dissolved, I mean, there was a lot of flags that I should have
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
need to, but for the sake of keeping up appearances, for the sake of protecting this person or covering them for whatever
yeah,
they had going on, I was suffering in silence, like literally miserable and
yeah,
nights of seeing things and situations and stuff just being unraveled before my eyes, but I just was suffering in silence. And
yeah,
I remember one day, this was years ago, I read the scripture in Timothy, I believe it is, that the older women have to teach the younger women.
yeah,
And I just wondered, I was like, man, I wish somebody would have pulled me to the side or,
yeah.
or, or just looked me in my eyes and said, you're not happy or
Wow.
you need help. And so I think it's very interesting, just the dynamic of, especially now, like you said, with social media,
Yeah,
you can really get a glimpse into, of course, people show what they want to show,
yeah,
but
right.
a glimpse of um, people that have overcome, like you and I, overcome
Yeah.
crazy situations. But I know I was suffering in silence. Do you ever feel like you wish somebody would have grabbed you and just said, "Hey, you don't have to go down this road, or you don't have to, deal with this, or put yourself through this."
Kinda, but at the same time, I wouldn't know what I know now.
Come on,
I
right?
wouldn't if they would have did that because when you get married, you in your mind, we gonna stick it out through thick and
Mhm,
thin. So
mhm.
you don't see yourself leaving. You
Right,
see yourself being there. So even if they might have said that at one time, I probably wouldn't have received it
right, absolutely.
because I don't see us, separating.
Yeah. Well,
We're
see,
gonna
for
get through this,
yes, yes. But
Yeah,
for me, I think there were signs before I got married that let me know, like,
yeah, yeah,
I shouldn't, even um, before the engagement. I mean, there were many, many signs, but
yeah,
for the sake of like, man, I I can work. I mean, I can handle this, or I can.
yeah,
Or I seen a quote recently that says like, teach your daughter that loyalty doesn't mean accepting unlimited pain
yeah, that's
the
right.
person that they're with. And I just had no concept of that. I was like, oh, I'm strong, I can handle this, I'm gonna bounce back. And I think that just kind of, like you said, like you have to go through things because
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm so much more fortified because it's
Oh,
something
yeah.
that I went through. But some of that is just like gut wrenching at the time. And
Yeah, at the time.
yes, you never know how you're gonna come out on the other side of it. But I think it's very important. And again, I appreciate your platform because you're coming out, you're saying, look, this is what I went through. These
Yeah,
are the things that I experienced, and this is how you come out on the other side of it.
yeah,
And I think in the Black community, like we're doing a lot better. But we've
yeah,
got to continue to speak on, like, I know a lot of times I go and sit with my grandmother and I'm like, so what was it like when XYZ happened? What was it like when you were growing up in the 40s? And she's, loving to tell me these
yeah.
stories, but we got to talk. We got to
That's
communicate,
right.
ask these questions. And, I was talking to my parents the other day. When the storm happened, we had went over there to try to get some heat and everything. And
Yeah,
I just, we were asking about like y'all were in school at this time, and like, what was it like to kind of be at the beginning of integration? And I've never talked to them about that. But like our
Yeah.
parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles have so much knowledge and
Yeah.
even experiences, just seeing how somebody else went through their experiences. So I think the work that you're doing is truly invaluable, because that this stuff, that these things you're putting out and things we're trying to do, this
Yeah.
work will live forever, and somebody will
Yeah.
watch it years down the line and be like, man, that really helped me. So I really appreciate you again being transparent and talking about your journey. So once you finally got to a level place, start, we're always a work in progress, but once you got to a place where you started to turn the corner,
Yeah.
how did you know you were like getting to a level place? Were there like situations that happened, or did it feel different, or what?
I wasn't crying myself to sleep anymore because I cried myself to sleep so much. Just
Yeah.
that emptiness and that abandonment that I felt was
Mhm.
so. Ooh, but once I
Mhm.
was able to stop going to the restroom throughout my day crying,
Yeah.
and what I was really doing was getting in the presence of the Lord. I always say He was changing my bandages. I
Mhm.
was deeply wounded, and I say when you get shot and you go to the doctor, whoever got to come in office and change your bandage because you're bleeding profusely.
Come on.
So in the beginning, I stayed in His presence and
Yeah.
crying and crying, but once I was able to stop chasing,
Yeah.
stop trying to get somebody to convince them that I'm worthy of
Mhm.
them, no longer chasing, wasn't crying myself to sleep no more, and I was happy. That's when I can kind of see, ooh, it's working.
I love that.
Yeah,
No longer chasing and
yeah,
convince somebody that I'm worthy.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Because that's how it was. That codependency.
Mhm.
What can I say? If I can say the perfect words,
Yeah.
maybe you'll see that you need to stay with me.
Yeah.
No,
I remember saying that. It was a I
no.
was talking to, and I'd be like, I just got to convince him that I'm a good
Yeah,
person. And it's like,
yeah,
no, I can't.
yeah,
If you don't see it, it's nothing I can do but
yeah.
say
Exactly.
convince, or and I can't.
Yeah. And it
Uh,
was in my spirit that I'm enough. It
mm,
finally got into my subconscious mind.
I have to pull that Fantasia out. I can't beg you. I can't beg
Yeah, yeah,
somebody nothing to tell them anything.
yeah.
So with all of that, that you went through, do you feel like you're happy now? Are you still, working through it? Are you happy? And how does that feel?
I'm very happy, but it's still some want triggers too. I
Absolutely.
learned that, I'm happy, but it's still, the work never stops. I wrote my book Loving Me. I say the work never stops because it's always gonna be something to kind of show you, okay, you need to just keep on doing the work,
Tighten it up
keep
on it.
on doing it. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. Happiness is a state of consciousness that
Yeah.
you choose to be in. That don't mean that everything is perfect. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But it's a state of consciousness that I choose to live in every
Mm,
day because of gratefulness.
that's good. That's
Yeah,
good. So when you know, come full circle, what made you? And I love this. What made you decide to start sharing your story? What made you feel comfortable when? And you've always been a person that I feel told your stories in your music.
I did.
Yeah.
But I was shamed at first though. I lived in a lot of shame from cheating.
Really.
People knowing that I'm a alcoholic and I done cut up, I done slept with somebody, other than
Mhm.
my spouse. Oh no, they can't know this. So I lived in shame for a long time.
Mm,
But once I forgave myself
yeah.
and accepted that, you gotta embrace who you are where you are. Every relationship is a reflection of your relationship with you.
Yes.
So heal that, forgive yourself. You were I would also equate us to a flower that
Mm,
needs water. You
yes.
didn't have any water. You was in a dark room. What you expect
Yeah.
when you allow yourself to stay in a situation that continues to break your spirit? What do you expect for you to do? Anybody in your situation, in your shoes that felt how you felt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would have probably did the same thing or worse.
Right.
So forgive yourself and share what you learned. Let people know that they matter. Let people know how valuable they are so that you can try to help them either come out or prevent it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
That's a that's an interesting shame is an interesting emotion
Yeah, it is.
because it can be you can feel shame on something you did or also something that happened to you.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know if you've read her book or listened to her, but Brene Brown talks a lot about shame and guilt. And something that said that was a breakthrough for me. She says, guilt says, I did something bad. Shame
Mhm.
says, I am bad. And we know
Mm.
that because
Wow.
because we're in Christ, we're not bad. Something
Yeah.
bad happened. We did something. We made a mistake. We fell short, but we're not bad. And once I got that breakthrough, because for me, I was like I had a lot riding on. I felt shame because like I just couldn't make that work. I just couldn't make
Yeah.
it work. And I was,
Yeah, and I'm out here singing about marriage and talking about
come
marriage.
on, come
And
on.
then look at yours. You
Yes.
can't go out there.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I also felt like, I felt shame at the end because I was like, man, I didn't put all my eggs in this basket.
Yeah.
And now ain't no more basket. And I'm just out here
Mhm.
trying to figure out what to do. And also, like I said, provide some covering for somebody when there was a lot going on their end and nobody spoke on it. But I just was left holding
Yeah.
all the broken pieces. And
Yeah.
so I experienced a lot of shame. But I love that you said that, you that's one of the things especially we as women, man, we carry so
Yeah.
many emotions, but we have to heal and really just do that self inventory. Like, man,
Yeah.
this happened, it hurt, it didn't look good, it didn't feel good, but I'm still good enough. I'm still
Yeah.
valuable. I'm still, a woman of God that somebody would be honored and blessed, completely
Yeah.
blessed to be
That's
with. And
right.
also, guess what? If nobody comes along, if nobody, if I'm single for the rest of my life, I'm still
Yeah.
good. And that's
Yeah.
something that I try to convey with some of my mentees because they're just such a fixation
Yeah.
being married and being in a relationship, and it's like we've got to do that personal work first because I know for me, I was in therapy for a long long time because I was like, I just can't bring this baggage into any new situation.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't drag all of this crap
Yeah.
from the past situations into my future. And so I know once I kind of had to release layer by layer, this
Yeah.
happened, that happened, this happened, I did this, he did that, and all of these different things that I was able to get to a place, like you said, where we're always a work in progress, but it's truly happiness now. Like a state
Yeah.
and like, man, I wake up in the morning, I'm grateful, I'm doing what I have to do, I'm loving myself, I'm loving
Yeah.
me, I'm loving the Lord. And that's just where we have to come from a place of, like you said, just be centered and grounded and
Yeah.
a place of gratitude. And then once we live in that place of gratitude, then everything else will fall into place.
That's right.
Always be easy. So I think that gratitude is very, very important. That's been actually a great game changer for me.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I read a quote that said, when you live in gratitude, everything you have will be enough. Like,
Come on, not there.
you know what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
When I'm in a place
Yeah.
of gratitude, I don't care if I just have one bowl of cereal or
Yeah.
one, one
That's
sandwich
good.
to have and speak of it, speaking in food. But when you're in a place of gratitude, whatever I have, that's enough. And I
That's
believe
right.
that's, really kind of equates to what the scripture says. Like, I've
Yeah.
learned that whatever state I'm in, I gotta be content. I've gotta be content. And that's what, is very important, that even when they're in that we're in that transition period of like
Yeah.
coming out of depression or coming out of
Yeah.
addiction or coming out of a, toxic relationship,
Yeah.
that we're able to see even in that, I
Yeah.
remember I remember a specific instance. I was driving in a car one day and I just, like you said, you transition from crying every night.
Yeah.
And I used to cry when I was driving, so my
Yeah.
daughter couldn't see. So she'd be in the back seat, and
Yeah.
I just would like, let the tears fall. She couldn't see me, and she was little, and she'd be like, "Mama, what?" When we get out the car,
Yeah.
salt. stains down my face. What's
Yeah.
wrong? And I would just tell, oh, mommy's not feeling good or something like that.
Oh,
But I remember getting to the point to where I was driving and it would be a specific point that we passed. And I was like,
yeah.
I'm not crying no more. I'm not
Wow.
crying no more. And so I feel you when you say like, man, I wasn't crying at night. I
Yeah.
wasn't crying no more. That's a game changer when you get
Yeah.
to the point where you can see, man, this is not,
It's
it's
working.
not,
It's
yeah,
healing
yeah,
me.
absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
healing me.
Is there anything else that you want to share about the journey? I think there are so many jewels that you dropped. Is there anything else you want to share or give us?
Just know that self-love is having a healthy relationship with you. Love on you. Start putting you first. Don't dismiss yourself. Don't dismiss what your needs to try to please somebody else because you matter.
Yeah.
And you have to love you. You know, like they say, we teach people how to
Mm,
treat us.
I see
And your relationship is going to be a reflection of your relationship with yourself. What
that.
you tolerate, what you accept is showing you how you see you because you're allowing mistreatment. So
Yeah.
what does that say about how you see you?
Whew. Yeah.
So you need to know that just go back to the drawing board. Go look at YouTube videos every day or books or however
Mhm.
you learn and start making some deposits into your self-esteem. Start
Oh, I
making some
love that.
deposits into your confidence, into your relationship with you. Learn some new knowledge. Learn what love is. Learn about it because that's the only way that you can heal and change it.
Mm,
And do some forgiveness, letters. Do some things.
that
Write a letter to yourself,
forgiveness
That
letters.
forgiveness letters, write one to you. I forgive you for,
Mm, and he's
accepting this. I
delivering
forgive you for allowing this. I forgive you. God forgives you. Embrace his forgiveness. Like, just start the journey.
it down.
That's how if you want to know how to, start the journey.
Yeah.
And
I
I
love.
have 5 books on self-love that you can get off of Amazon. They not
Oh
long.
no.
Yeah, they simple ebooks. The self-love toolbox, things you need in your toolbox on the journey.
Yes.
Yeah, loving me.
Wait, tell us how you can get that. I need to go
Amazon, go to
right now.
Amazon and just
Type
type
your
in
name
Shea
in.
Atkins, yeah, and it'll pull up they ebooks except for Loving Me.
Oh, love it. Awesome.
And they
So
have a
if
free one too.
you said you have a free one too?
Yeah, it's called 10 Ways to Love Yourself.
Oh, come on,
And you
Shay.
can download that on my website, shayatkins.com. It's
Yes.
real out here. I say this, I'm passionate about this
I
because
see you.
when
That's
you
awesome.
don't know who you are, man, your wounds are leading you and
Mm,
not your purpose.
yes. Yes.
You make choices from your wounds. We got to start making choices from purpose.
I love that. I my dad actually preached a sermon on Sunday. He was talking about the man who was had the lesions, and he talked about people being known by your issues. Like,
Wow.
he when Jesus or whoever spoke and said, "Who are you?" and he said, "We're legions." Like, he spoke from his
Wow.
issue, and he didn't
Yeah.
say who he truly was.
Wow.
We have to be careful of speaking and being identified by our issues. And so
Yeah.
that's something that I had to like literally take this off of me. I
Yeah.
started, I don't know if you ever did this, but I started like, I'm not checking the divorce box. I'm single. I'm not, anything that
Yeah.
had that heavy weight on it.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah.
I don't need to be attached to that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I love that you said that, being just free, and don't let your wounds lead you.
Yeah. Don't let your wounds lead you. And the last thing, you will be no more than how you see yourself to be.
Mm.
God is on the inside. The healer, he lives within us. But
Yeah.
your mind, he can't go
Mm.
past your mind. How
Yeah.
you see yourself. You have to make those deposits into your heart and spirit about who he says you are so that you can walk it. He already waiting on you to embrace that truth. So you
Mm.
can live your purpose. That's the only thing that will hold you back from walking in your purpose. How you see yourself.
Oh, that's so good. That is so
God
good.
not gonna drop some. I wish He would drop some magic on us, and we can just get a walking and comfort.
Good.
No, we got work. We got to work that
That's,
mind every day. Renew, be
it's
ye
heavy work.
transformed.
Healing is heavy work.
It is.
Heavy work. I remember sometimes I would just be like, man, whew, just take a deep breath because it's
Yeah,
heavy work and it's
it is.
continuous and it's but the benefits and the fruit on the other side are just like, so I remember somebody asking me recently, they were like, "Are we good?" Like something had happened and it was like, "Are
Yeah,
we good?" And I'm like, I ain't mad at nobody. Like
yeah,
I don't have the
yeah,
bandwidth to hold that kind of stuff in
yeah,
my spirit anymore. So, and not to say that I don't get upset or,
yeah,
feel things, when they happen, but it's like you learn mechanisms to handle it. I got to handle
yeah.
this, put this in this box and put it away because
Come on.
just trying to hold on to all of that stuff. And
Yeah,
I realized that a lot of times people will, what do you call it? Like renege on their healing work because it's work. It's true
yeah,
work.
it is work.
It
And it's
is.
so easy to make that call. It's
Yeah.
so easy to, pick
Yeah.
up that to pop some pills or
Mhm.
pick up that bottle of smoke, whatever, but
Mhm.
you gotta
Mhm.
do that work.
That's exactly where I was. I had a car accident in 2001, and ever since then, I used to keep me a stash of hydrocodone. And
Yeah,
whenever I felt like I couldn't handle being present in life,
yeah,
I was just, like you said, on a high with them pills, and nobody would know.
wow.
But it was just like I was just coasting through the day,
Yeah,
and
wow.
I finally had to realize, oh, this is not. I'm not taking this for my back
Yeah,
anymore. My
yeah.
back does hurt.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Be an escape
Yeah,
from life, an escape from having to really be in my head. But you know, just the benefits for me of just having a
yeah,
clear mind. I'd rather deal with the back pain and just do a heating pad versus being just out of my head and not having a clear and sober mind to be able to, make it
yeah,
day, focus on my children,
yeah,
be present for my job and the things that I have to do, even like deep in my skill set for what God has called me to do. And it
yeah.
requires a clear mind.
It
But
does.
it was hard when I had to face like, you ain't taking them pills for your back. You're
Wow.
taking them because you're
Yeah,
trying to escape.
yeah,
And so that was like a hard lesson or a hard like moment. But once I got that
yeah,
breakthrough, it was like, okay,
yeah.
I'm down to Tylenol. So
Come
I'm
on now.
not Tylenol all day, but I'm present and I'm here and I'm cold.
Yeah,
But it's so interesting how pain will make you do some stuff.
yeah, it will. How you handle pain. That's why it's good to have the information on what
Absolutely.
to do when you feel in a certain kind of way,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and what to do when you in a situation that's breaking you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, because I was on anxiety and depression medication
Really.
because I was having panic attacks every day. They was coming like back to back sometimes, and
Mm.
I had to get on medication, to get that serotonin back. But once I left everything and got to an environment, a
Yeah.
healthy environment where I can flourish, I didn't
I
need
love
the
you didn't even need
medicine no more.
I
Yeah, I
love
didn't even need them. They just kind of just slowed down.
mm.
So yeah, get yourself to some water, get
Yes.
you some sunlight, get planted in a
Right.
solid, healthy foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, look, I'm feeling excited just to continue to see the journey and just, this is, and I don't know if you feel this way, but just being able to share and being able to, drop some wisdom and experience
yeah,
on somebody. I remember my grandmother was really one of the persons who encouraged me to, start kind of telling my story and sharing some of
wow,
it. She says you might be what did she say? She said somebody's healing might be locked up in the story you're ashamed to tell.
wow, that's powerful right there, Granny.
I said, huh? And she said, yeah, somebody's healing is waiting for you to tell. She said somebody's gone through the same thing because you won't tell your story.
Yeah,
They still bound and locked up. And I was like, man, I don't.
wow,
And so that was another level of healing, being able to come to terms with everything that I've gone through, even if it's taboo or even if it's kind of like, ooh,
yeah,
this is touchy. But I had
yeah,
to come to terms with, you know what, God, you knew everything and
yeah,
you allowed me
yeah,
to go through this. Why? Because you knew that I would be agent for you on the other side.
Yeah, that's right.
The fact that, oh, he kept me, I mean, held me right above water when I felt like I was gonna drown.
Come on.
So I owe him the the
Yeah,
testimony.
that's
I owe
right.
him.
Yeah.
So my grandmother sure did, and I was like, oh, okay,
Come on, Granny came
I'm
through.
with it, right? So it's just so refreshing to hear your story and to hear
Yeah,
how you've really come full circle and really
yeah.
come out on the other side and really not just stopped at the testimony, but giving us tools
Oh, yeah.
to be able to come out and and that's something that is very important. I'm glad that you said that, like continuing education and continue
Yeah.
read and learn and watch
Yeah.
videos, because if you cease to try to get that knowledge, then um my dad always says that once you stop learning, you stop growing.
Come on now.
We got to continue to learn and grow. But I'm definitely gonna make sure that we have the information to get your books. Definitely
Yeah.
support, especially a beautiful Black woman doing
Come on.
great work, and I just believe that it's gonna help somebody. So I'll make sure.
Mhm.
You said SheiAtkins.com.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll be sure and put that up, and I like to do at the end a little segment called "Rooting for Everybody Black." And so today we salute you for your work, your healing, your writing your books, your music, even your videos and your lives that you're doing on your social media. Just
Yeah.
appreciate you, because I know the work that it takes, even just the mental bandwidth that it takes to continue to push through and tell your story, and
Wow.
be bold in sharing your message and what you feel like God has called you to do. So I'm
That's
rooting for you,
powerful.
so proud of you, and so glad to know you, and just excited to see how you're going to continue to unfold and flourish in your journey. So thank you so
You're
much.
so